That's pretty good. This is supposed to be Celtic music. It feels like I'm at Bilbo Baggins' birthday celebration.
Did the Shire... Well, I guess the Shire is very much inspired by Ireland, but...
Yeah.
In these films, the role of Ireland will be played by New Zealand.
We've cast James Franco to play Ireland. Did you see that statement about the Fidel Castro movie? Where they were like, yes, we know James Franco is not a Cuban-American actor, but we did measure his skull, and he's a perfect fit. They tried to do woke phrenology.
I thought you were going to say, but we hoped you wouldn't notice.
That's their statement.
In all honesty, don't be mad at us.
To be honest, we didn't think anybody would notice. His name's Franco. We just thought you'd figure that was like like the Spanish guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, folks, welcome to There Once Were Two Men from Podtucket. As far as I know, the only podcast dedicated to an hour of limericks. This is the third in a trilogy of podcasts that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
The first was called Haiku Corner. The second was called Rubber Baby Buggy Bumpers. And this is the third. And much like the third Men in Black movie, it's a bit of a stretch. We're really just grasping at straws for something and hoping that the nostalgia you recall from the first two outings has brought you back for a third. Plus, Biz Marquis is here in this one.
Well, I'm sorry to correct you on this.
No, wait.
Biz Marquis is in the second one. And
Johnny Knoxville, ladies and gentlemen.
That's also the second one.
God damn it! Who's in the third one?
The third one's actually a little bit better than the second one. It's got Josh Brolin doing a really good K impression.
Yeah. Damn. All the things I thought were from the third Men in Black movie, from the second.
Yeah. Well,
the Balchinian.
This one will be like the second Men in Black
here,
movie.
folks. We've got Balchinians.
Yeah. I should have written a limerick about Balchinians. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, well, and you could, you could rhyme it with Fenian.
Like the knaves?
Something about
of old Ireland?
Yeah,
okay.
It could be. You could bring it all around. Anyways, folks, let's get down to it. What do you say?
Yeah, let's.
We've written a bunch of limericks. Some of them good, some of them less good, most of them bad.
That's fair to say.
And we're here to read them. Now, I'm going to employ a highlighting method to make sure that I don't lose track of any that I skip over.
Okay. I'm on ink and paper right here, so I'm going to do a check mark when I've read one.
Very good. Very good, sir.
I'm going to put my first check mark down right now, because here I go. There once was a man who angered the gods. He played Skyrim with all of the mods. Guards were chickens and shouts were farts. Dragons made of steam engine parts. The game's just better behind these facades. End limerick.
End limerick. There were two guys without a podcast whose new ideas just could not last. And so they said, hell, let's go back to the well. And a whole hour of poems will broadcast.
I've got one that's quite similar, but I'm going to hold it till later. There once was a man who dressed as a bat. who lusted heartily after a cat. I know that it sounds absurd, but his best friend dressed as a bird. Where's that penguin girlfriend at?
That's also a callback to
is.
another. Got that discussion about why doesn't the penguin have his own Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
There once was a. Oh.
I was gonna say Tales of Love from the Iceberg Lounge. It's sitting right there for you, DC.
There once was a man from Nantucket whose dick was so long he could suck it, till he pissed off a genie who cursed his long weenie with feathers too many to pluck it.
Very good.
That's a update on a classic.
There was a dog with opposable thumbs. He ate all the corn dogs and all the Tums. His owner had to lock the fridge so the dog couldn't get even a smidge. Now he gives Allie handjobs for crumbs.
The Lion King is quite a movie, and the songs that they sing are quite groovy. So don't feel bereft, it's the only tape left in the library here at the Juvie.
There was a restaurant that didn't care. Fuck all y'all, they said. Of course we went there. Their bread wasn't made of rye. Instead, they used 2 slices of pie. That's why I blame them for breaking my chair.
Your Honor, please grant this demurrer, and I ask you remind every juror. It's a small but quite dark, hairy facial birthmark neath my nose, and I am not the Führer.
Those are some good rhymes, but just... I'm glad I couldn't have written that one because I'm afraid of saying words like juror. I always think about the rural juror.
The rural juror, it's...
30 Rock.
Yeah. You gotta really work on your diction and enunciation. I am not the Führer.
Yeah.
Just backstage at the your local theater's production of Our Town, like, Gott in Himmel, I am not the Führer.
There once was a man whose speed was revered. Sideline to sideline, he effortlessly veered. Later on, a bit of a hassle, but besting the court proved quite facile. Today, a Twitter star and a name cleared.
Wait, who's that?
That's a heroic limerick about O.J. Simpson.
Wait. Something didn't happen that I missed, right? You're talking about
he's
just
not
like
guilty.
found not guilty in a court of law.
Yeah, he did some other shit later on that we we're not worried about.
Was there like some sort of incredible headline? O.J. Simpson finds real killer.
I just trust our court system that much.
Trust the courts. Oh, I just figured out what we can do. This is, folks, we're going behind the curtain here. We got a little, I started a new job and it's messed up our recording schedule, and we were trying to figure out how we can get back on track. Let's just release this on Monday, and then we'll just say, hey, folks, you're listening to a Monday episode.
Okay.
Tune in next Monday and we'll figure out what the next podcast is.
That works.
That totally works. Now this just has to be good enough to be a Monday episode. I remind you this mark on my face. I admit its unfortunate place. The crime which I'm pleading is a ticket for speeding, not constructing a new master race.
We maybe should have blocked this out a little bit better. Is it gonna throw a wrench in your works if I do my Hitler one now?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
I'm done with Hitler.
Okay. There was a time cop who hated his job. So many travelers wanted to rob. cash, jewels, and a golden crown. Anything that's not nailed down. Like baby Hitler's lolly. Made him sob.
Baby Hitler's lolly. So this time cop might have been the impetus of Hitler's genocidal rage.
Yeah. I mean, you're a time cop. You think you're going to go all over time, see all these different places and people, and instead you're just posted on baby Hitler all of the time. You know everything about that little kid when he takes a shit. Everything.
That would be an interesting time travel, time cop type movie. Is a guy invents a time machine and he goes back in time to kill Hitler. But then there's also like a time-traveling Mossad agent who's trying to stop him from stopping Hitler because he's like, no, like our whole country is predicated on the fact that Hitler did his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe not for us to explore. We'll just leave it there. I'm putting it out into the world if someone else wants to chase down that. All right, begin limerick. I came to this faraway star, met the blue creatures from Avatar. They were noble and tall, but I must kill them all, because one of them leaned on my car.
There was a man whose insides were reversed. After eating a meal, his butt cheeks were pursed. His anus would spit out a thin stream. Reader, though, remember the theme. This poor guy's penis was epically cursed.
His name is Bad Leroy Brown, the baddest damn man in the town. Bad at reading and math, bad at taking a bath, and with women, bad at going down.
There was a thief with a fanciful name. Her dastardly crimes were turned into a game. The whole earth we gumshoes did scour, but how did she hide the Eiffel Tower? Thanks, Carmen. You made Oregon Trail seem lame.
They do whate'er they want to do. Say whatever they want to say, too. Had an orgy with Lurch in the middle of church. The Adams family. I think that might be my best one. It doesn't even rhyme. It doesn't. I had to force the rhyme there at the end.
That's okay. Most of mine have at least one very forced line in them. This was a lot harder than the other ones. There is a certain town on the East Coast where the guys got hogs so big they boast. They can all autofillate. Their hips, they barely gyrate. So they're not gonna sweat a limerick roast.
As deceased his young body interred, so we render his soul to the Lord. And with grief we engrave, 'neath his name on the grave. Here lies Beavis, though never he scored.
There was a player nicknamed Agent Zero, good at b-ball, but a video game hero. He bought multiple Xboxes, and that's how he did outfox us. Gilbert topped the boards, fighting his own Sub-Zero. Which, that one I have to explain a little bit. Back in the original Xbox days, NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas gamed the system and was at the top of several video game leaderboards because he just bought a bunch of Xboxes and would play matches against himself and just kill his other... like he made fake accounts and just was number one on the Halo boards, but it was...
Damn. Brilliant.
Yeah.
If only he could have figured out a way to do that for basketball.
Yeah.
If he could have, put together an all-star team of dead players.
Is this another weekend at Bernie's kind of situation? Like he just...
I mean, I guess if anyone was going to pay attention, he would have to do a weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
But there is also, he could just be desecrating corpses, just dunking on them.
Yeah, maybe he could do the Home Alone thing, like Kevin had Michael McJordan riding around on Michael McJordan riding around on a model train. You know, like if he just set up like a really intricate model train system and put cardboard cutouts of the other players on them.
Ooh. That'd be something. I'd like to see that. Just a whole NBA game where it's nothing but cardboard cutouts of the players on an intricate model train track that goes all up and down the court. And the players are sitting on the sidelines and they're just switching, doing the little levers to switch the tracks. It becomes a game.
I say get Gomez Adams. Get the best at it, He can wear his little striped hat and smoke his cigar.
I'd also like to see an NFL game where all the players just hold still and then the field vibrates and they just move around. I suppose for the sake of nostalgia that we shouldn't have done it without you. But we knew you would ruin our high school reunion with tales of your fibromyalgia.
There was a guy who inhaled all the hot dogs. Then he'd swell up like those pouches on frogs. Coney Island, every July, Joey'd stack those dogs up high. How are his veins not filled with sausage clogs?
Shout out to our man Joey Chestnut, who I believe follows us on social media.
He's a good guy and my favorite competitive eater.
I truly wish people would chill, but they mistrust my lip birthmark still. I've been treated with scorn since the day I was born in a top secret lab in Brazil. I lied when I said I was done with the Hitler
he
stuff.
Came back. Just like Hitler. There was an old woman who lived in a hat, who had no children and was glad of that. She watched her neighbor across the way. Her parenting was not okay. She called CPS and reported that rat.
It is said that they're tiny and toony. And for sure, they're all a little loony. But there's not enough money for Babs and Buster Bunny to ever agree that they'll screw me.
Isn't that why that show ended? Wasn't there like a stalker or something?
The Tiny Toon Adventures, coming out at the same time as the proliferation of internet chat rooms, created furry culture and pretty much killed not only Tiny Toon Adventures, but the chain of Warner Brothers stores in malls.
Huh.
It's a bit of interesting internet trivia that the cast of Tiny Toon Adventures refused to go on their PR tour to all of the Warner Brothers mall stores because they were getting very creepy mail from fans that wanted to fuck all of the characters.
Yeah. Do you think Build-A-Bear has those same problems?
The Animaniacs they intentionally made into things that cannot be identified. They're not any sort of animal, and that is part of the joke. I would assume, yes, there are probably some Build-A-Bear perverts out there. If you work for Build-A-Bear, or you've ever worked for Build-A-Bear, and you've had someone come in who was clearly building building their dream bear, if you know what I mean, call into the podcast hotline. We'd love to hear all about the kind of people who are fucking the Build-A-Bear. What kind of things did they make that Build-A-Bear say?
They probably call it Fill-A-Bear. With
Fill-A-Bear.
Yeah, you can finish that.
Just, they're like, when they're filling it with stuffing, like, oh, just leave a little room. Mm-hmm. A little room for cream.
God. All right. Here's another one. There's a guy.
Begin limerick.
Yeah, begin limerick. There's a guy called Stanley who traveled the world inside an envelope, folded and furled. He found himself frequently bored and thought about that time he scored, just thrusting flat buttocks and toes that were curled.
Damn, Flat Stanley.
Yeah, he can get it.
Getting it on. As a song, Rocky Raccoon is awesome. As a story, I think it's a problem that his rival's a man who's known simply as Dan, not a guy named Apollo Creed Possum.
I don't know, if it ever becomes a DreamWorks animated film, I think that they might take that note.
I mean, I would love it.
All right.
If Rocky Raccoon, if they made a Rocky Raccoon movie, and for some reason they get Sylvester Stallone to voice an anthropomorphic raccoon who has a shootout at a hoedown.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We're running out of time, you know. Let's get this done while Stallone and Carl Weathers are still alive.
It's a race to beat the clock, because you kind of probably have to wait until Paul McCartney dies to be able to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Unless you can get Paul McCartney in on it, you know, make it like some sort of a Beatles jukebox musical, where they could have like a.
Well, wait a minute. Doesn't the estate of Michael Jackson own all the songs?
Well, there you go.
Don't we need to be cozying up to LaToya? I assume she's the one who makes those decisions.
It's Blanket and Prince Michael.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They probably like a Rocky Raccoon movie. I don't know. Yeah. They're probably like adults now.
They're like TikTok celebrities or something.
Okay. They're frozen in time, the age they were when their dad died for me. And that was
they're like Francis Bean Cobain. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, look at this. It's a hot lady. That's Kurt Cobain's daughter. And you're like, ah, come on. Same thing with the Michael Jackson kids. They're like hot adults now.
Okay.
It's just like, oh wow, oh yeah, oh I forgot. Like if you're a rich person, you can just be hot. So it's one of the options.
Oh, to be rich or to be famous?
Oh, I'm saying that if you are rich, an option, you have the option to be famous, but you also have the option to be hot. They just have like they have a thing like, you know, Cher's computer at the beginning of Clueless where she can pick out her outfits.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing, but there's just a big button that says like hot, and you can push that one, or you can be like, look like a Hey Arnold character, which is the one that Kamala Harris's stepdaughter hit.
There was a man whose code name was Cyclops. Because his powers, he couldn't use eye drops. Furthermore, when he's abed, glasses must remain on his head. I couldn't do that, so let's give him some props.
Now, a bed, is that an actual word, or is that like you're kind of...
It's an actual word. Its only utility is crossword puzzles and limericks. So don't try to use it.
It's like an antiquated...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have a couple more of those, but I like crossword puzzles, so I know all these limerick words.
A bed, it's, yeah. He's not turning it. His power is laser beams from his eyes. He can't also do, like, the thing, like the Wonder Twins guy. Form of bed.
But isn't that weird that they, like, don't make him keep that visor on all the time, and it's so easy for him to take the visor off? He's just walking around with his cool designer sunglasses on, and those somehow work. Like, could you imagine having to keep your glasses on all of the time and never take them off, or you could, like, kill your whole family?
Yeah, I guess, maybe. If you were like a guy with really poor eyesight who was his whole family was part of a traveling band, I guess that would probably be very similar to Cyclops' experience.
I think they should make him wear those like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggle glasses. It's like something with a little more safety. I wouldn't feel safe around that guy.
Yeah, you got the elastic band around the back to make sure they stay on. At least a pair of croquis.
For sure.
Keep those things tight. In the next Civil War we'll be fighting, when the teams they start into dividing, you can bet that I'll hop on the team with Corn Pop and whoop Joseph Robinette Biden.
There were some rats all stuck in a small place. Before too long, their tails would interlace. Bumping around and looking for food, you'll never find a closer brood. Would you like to join the Rat King embrace?
Ooh. I never thought of it as an embrace before. Sounds kind of fun. Like a polycule.
Yeah. I'm sure it's great fun.
You go out to your barn and the rats are like, I hear these big city rats, they get into some sort of an orgy where all their tails tie into a knot. They're all living together, one big pile of rats.
Just one big rat fuck puddle. Sign me up.
Hell, I don't want to do that. I can barely satisfy one rat. It seems that those liberal loons want to take away violent cartoons. Gone is the day when a man could still say he would punch his wife straight to the moon.
There once was a show, though now it's lost to time, where a kid could wallow around in green slime. They made it with plenty of love and held it in a bucket above. Bring back Family Double Dare, 'twould be sublime.
Family Double Dare, let Double Dare be lost to the sands of time.
Here's the problem with
bring back Family Double Dare.
Here is why this wasn't an accident. When you watch the regular Double Dare, that's just two dumb kids. They can't answer any of the questions. They just go back and forth with the dares. You ever watch it? They're all like, you need a dad in there to be like, hold on, I got this one.
Yeah. He's going in and like, oh yes, that was the Treaty of Versailles, and then shoving his kid into a pool of green oatmeal.
Yeah.
An apt metaphor for these modern times. It's tough standing up to the masses to be falsely accused of being fascist. For me and my other identical brothers with permanent Hitler mustaches.
You know there's a game made for the cursed. Doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst. No matter how many points you score, still gonna spill some gore on the floor. My recommendation, dive in head first. This is people who interpret wood chipper as a game.
Oh, I thought this was a follow-up to the Double Dare, where this was someone who thinks that Nickelodeon Guts
yeah. Well,
played with actual guts.
You'd be really glad to have your dad around if the physical challenge was jumping into a wood chipper.
The posh guy. Let me take that one again. The Spice Girls have come here to party. It's posh, ginger, scary, and sporty. As sad as it may be, they're not joined by Baby. I hear that they had her aborty.
There was a man who ate red velvet cake. When he saw his BM, his breath it did take. Oh, the viscera and gore! That's bits of my guts, he swore. 'Twas die, dummy, you won't die for goodness sake. That's an autobiographical one.
There once was a man who ate cashews so much that it made his it fucked up his doo-doos. I don't. I tried to write one, but I hit a writer's block on that. Yeah. But just word to the wise: don't eat a whole bag of cashews. It will fuck up your doo-doos, and you'll think you're dying.
Yeah. Another thing that I did as a kid was I liked sunflower seeds a whole lot, and I found that sucking the salt off of them and cracking the seeds open and getting the meat out and then making a mess with the seeds was too much. So I ate a whole packet of them, seeds and all, just crunched them up and ate them.
Yeah,
that was real gore that came out of me.
Oh yeah,
they are just little knives that you cannot digest.
I did the same thing with roasted peanuts at a baseball game as a child. It's like, I don't know what to do with all these peanut shells. I'm just going to start eating them. And then it was like I was like one of the sandworms from Dune, just passing a big bag of glass shards.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that peanut shells are more like a cheese grater going through you rather than a bunch of little knives.
It's like, just imagine a bunch of like oak bark. They call me the Frito Bandito. I stuff corn chips into my Speedo. I don't find it fun, but it must still be done to satisfy my strange libido.
That's an excellent limerick. That might be my favorite one you've done yet.
It's really just all the words were there, and I just had to figure out how to contextualize them.
Well, I thought it was neato.
I don't condone the Frito Bandito or any of the things he's done. Or his existence, really.
Yeah.
But the rhyme
his
was
former
there.
existence. I think that they have tried to erase him, but his jingle was so catchy, it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. It's whew. It's a real shame. The way that the Frito-Lay Corporation is trying to erase Latinx musicians.
Yeah. You can't change history. The Frito Bandito exists. and all of the many statues of him should remain standing. Alright, here we go. There was a policeman who was shot to bits, so some scientists put together their wits. They put those bits into a bot. Don't know why they didn't just rot. Gum up the works and set him on the fritz.
And that's
a Robocop.
About Carl Winslow.
Oh,
From just getting it completely wrong.
Yeah,
oh
yeah. Well, that's a fun thing to think about sometimes. Is it could have been any cop on the beat who got shot to bits. Like, there are a lot of fun cops that could have been Robocop. I would have enjoyed a Carl Winslow Robocop.
Yeah.
And he still goes home to his family, and Steve Urkel is still just wrecking havoc with his life. Yeah.
Steve, go home. Go home, Steve. The gun comes out of his leg.
Freeze, dirtbag.
3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? Hey, hey, we're the Monkeys, the band. And we're touring across all the land. And our great claim to fame is the source of our name. From flinging our shit at our fans.
They might have done some of that in that weird movie they made. Do you ever watch
Head?
that? Yeah.
Yeah. That actually, when I wrote that, I was like, it's very similar to the opening to that movie where they do a weird, like, different metered version of, like, the theme song where it's like, hey, hey, we are the Monkeys. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how the
I
how it
can't.
goes,
I'm
but
not going to. I know what you're talking about.
they do their song, but as more of a chant than like a fun little pop rock.
I think Jack Nicholson directed that movie.
I think that it was Edward Hopper. Is that his name?
That's the guy who did the painting Nighthawks, that famous painting of the diner.
No, Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, there we go.
Nighthawks. From the man who brought you Nighthawks.
It's the whole movie is just them sitting in that diner with their backs to you, but you can hear them talking.
They're all in a different booth. They're just quietly drinking coffee. I think Dennis Hopper co-wrote it with
the Bob Raffleson who made 5 Easy Pieces. Oh, I'm up.
It's your turn.
Yep. There was a guy with a zit on his eyelid. While he was awake, that zit it was hid. Still he pinched and prodded at it. Scared was he to give it a slit. He's me, and of this zit I wish to be rid.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's been driving me nuts. I have a zit on my eyelid for 3 fucking months. It's unpoppable.
Is it a sty?
It is not. Maybe... It's not in the corner of the eye. It's just like on the super thin skin of my eyelid and slowly driving me crazy.
Jeez Louise.
But you can't see it. My eyes are open. My eyes are closed. You can see it a little bit. I don't know if you can.
No.
I mean, this camera's shitty. There's no way you're seeing
that. There once was a... Oh, so now... I've gotten into the I have a good bit of them here where I decided that I probably should write some limericks for fellas from other New England towns besides just Nantucket.
Alrighty.
There once was a man from Bahaba whose birth name was actually Jabba. But unlike the hut, from his nuts to his butt, was so hairy they had their own baba.
Okay, that's my new favorite. I'm gonna follow it up with one of my worst ones. There was a crook with a really weird face. One side looked like it had been hit with a mace. Thus, he'd usually wear a disguise until he joined a group of really odd wise guys. Now he fights Dick Tracy and goes by Mace Face.
Mace face.
Yes. You know, you got flat, like all the Dick Tracy villains are just descriptions of their weird deformities.
I guess that's true. There once was a small man from Amherst who stopped up a dam with his penis. He refused to pull out because there was a trout sucking him off until the whole dam burst. That one, not as strong as the other one.
You led with the best one.
I probably shouldn't.
I'm making an assumption that if you have more of them, they won't be as good. For sure. I'm Chumbawamba, and I just opened our set with I get knocked out, but I get up again. Tub thumping. All right. There was a man who'd steal all the bases. Every trip to bat, a series of races. Reporters always would trip, because Ricky never let an eye slip. He put them through their third-person paces.
Hey, and there he is.
There's the Ricky Henderson one.
The Ricky Henderson limerick.
Yeah.
There was a young sailor from Worcester who got his dick stuck in an oyster. For the rest of his life, he called her his wife at parties where he introduced her. I also, this was late at night, and I forgot that the idea was just to make them about different locations from New England, and several of them are about fucking different species of sea life.
Okay. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that.
I mean, it's New England. Come on. You think that isn't happening?
You ever seen one of those gooey ducks?
The gooey ducks?
Yeah, I think that there are West Coast species, but it's that shellfish that its sexual organ is like 3 times the size of the rest of its body. It's just like a big dick coming out of a clamshell.
Cool.
Yeah. There was a man of the half-empty sort. His friends' good feelings he often would thwart, until one day he bought a glass, sealed atop, no fluids could pass. I'm very thirsty, he was glad to report.
There once was a man born in Boston who was very proud of his foreskin, until one day a crab gave his dick a good grab. Now he goes to the synagogue often. What this poem presupposes is that if a crab pinches the tip of your dick off, you automatically become a Jew.
Yeah. And I think that's how it works, you know?
It's also, there's a dark irony there. That an unclean animal was the one that performed its circumcision.
Yeah.
He could never enjoy the flesh of the crab.
Yeah, he used to keep
that took his foreskin
under his hat. Yeah. Once there was a man, a Cheeseburger Clown, whose job entailed that he would never frown. Burgers are fine and all of that, taters fried and a nice beef fat. Still the clown was jealous of his rival's crown.
Man, that one Makes you think. Now this one, this is where I wrote myself into a corner by doing all the New England stuff and fucking sea creatures thing. And I never came up with the end of this one. It just says, there once was a young man from Cambridge who got sucked by a fish on the same bridge. And then that's it.
Okay, all right. Yep.
I was like, oh, I think I need to abandon the fish fucking portion of this themed limericks that I'm exploring. If you out there, listener, can think of an ending to the man from Cambridge who was getting sucked off on the same bridge, and I realized also that there was a guy on a dam who was getting his dick sucked by a trout, but there was never a bridge in any of the rest of these. He was swimming. He was trying to stop the dam from leaking. It was just a guy who had a very hairy nuts and butt.
All right. When we did the haikus, I found a couple that were just natural haikus I just found them and realized they were haikus. And I tried to do that with the limerick and it didn't work, but here it is. An underwater guy who controlled the sea got killed by sludge from New York and New Jersey? This monkey's gone to heaven because the god is 7. Asking because I'm a little lost, you see.
What's that about?
The Pixies song, Monkey Gone to Heaven.
A guy got killed by sludge?
Yeah, it's the beginning of the song. There once was a guy, an underwater guy who controlled the sea. Got killed by 10 million pounds of sludge from New York and New Jersey.
That's in that song?
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, I've been outed. Fake Pixies fan.
It's like their second most famous song?
I think, yeah. Somehow, never caught that was the first line of that song. Shit. Well, now I'm no better than any other dumb bastard on this planet. I can just die, I guess. Everything I thought I believed about myself, it's been turned upside down by your limerick about the Pixies.
I was just lazy and looking for one that is done for me.
There was a man from Kennebunkport who used couch cushions to build a fun fort. But please don't go inside, for he built it to hide the corpse of an overdosed escort. I'm back on track. New England, but not fish fucking.
Yeah, and I take a little bit of issue with him calling that a fun fort. It seems like a sad fort.
The fort is what keeps things fun.
Yeah,
if we're in a fort,
we're still having fun here. She's over there in the fort. We don't even have to worry about her anymore. Let's keep partying.
About the fun fort. We're having fun. The fort's over there.
We're not calling an ambulance. That doesn't sound like fun. She's in
what
the
are we going to call an ambulance for? A fun fort? I don't think so.
Oh my god!
Ring,
I can't breathe. I'm having too much fun.
We're having too much fun.
There was a game about a cute pink puff who had a habit of sucking up stuff. Sometimes he'd swallow, sometimes he'd spit. Allow me to pick at an it. What happens when Kirby goes down on a muff?
There once was a New England mobster who wanted to fuck every lobster. Well, back on that bullshit. While most people feared him, fishermen would revere him because he knew where all of the good spots were.
There's an epithet I'd like to address. Who said it originally, I'd have to guess. It's about the star of stage and screen, a guy who fucks like a machine. I'm talking rough sex expert Michael Douglas. And I know that that's something I've read or heard, and anytime somebody brings up Michael Douglas, I always think of him as rough sex expert Michael Douglas. And I don't know if it's from Saturday Night Live or from... I don't know where it came from, but I know I didn't come up with it. But
with rough sex expert,
yeah, like
Michael
I can
Douglas.
like cannot think about Michael Douglas without calling him in my head rough sex expert Michael Douglas. And it's really hard to Google because it's true, and you just get all these articles about Michael Douglas's sexy thrillers and about how he claims he got cancer from cunnilingus and all kinds of weird other shit. And I'm like, I'm looking for a very specific, these exact words. Give me rough sex expert Michael Douglas.
Honestly, I think that we should all borrow a page from the book of Michael Douglas, and when we die, just be like, the doctor said it was because I ate too much pussy. Yeah, I got a... Doctor says I have advanced COPD from eating too much pussy.
I want to find out that most of Al Pacino's latter-day performances were just based on his friendship with Michael Douglas.
I'm rolling into the Cracker Barrel at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning with my oxygen tank, and I'm like, the hose is there so that I don't have to come up for air when I'm eating pussy.
Doctor said this stuff will kill me. I don't care.
Oh. Not before pussy kills me. Hello, it is I, Justin Bieber, the boy from the land of the beaver. And I humbly ask you ignore the mustache. It's a birthmark, I promise, mein Lieber.
I think he could get away with it. I think he could get away with it, don't you? I mean, that's just the sort of stunt people have come to expect of Justin Bieber.
I believe that is the last of my boys from Brazil.
Okay.
But I might be lying.
Who knows? Okay. I feel bad for the Ravens broadcaster who shares a name with that Penn State bastard. He says I'm Jerry with a G. I'm not that J guy, you see. I molest far less than the average pastor. And I think this is just because I listen to sports radio so much during the football season. Louisville plays all of the Ravens games, and the guy who does the Ravens games on the radio is named Jerry Sandusky with a G. And I'm always just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Does he
Can you imagine
say
being like...
with a G?
Yeah, with a G instead of a J. and he's, in his late 40s or early 50s, so he was well into his career and established when all of that shit went down, and he was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Do I have to change my name as a 40-something-year-old man just to keep getting work? But he's just been shining it along, and I never stopped feeling bad for him.
Oh my God. Well, good for him for not backing down on that. You can't let the terrorists win.
Give those Sanduskys a good name. Jerry with a G.
Yeah. It's like Barack Obama not changing his middle name. Roscoe the magical farmer milks the cow in a full suit of armor. When the evil sheep herder tries to give him a murder, his enchanted cow prod can disarm her. A lot of these were late night, just sitting around, just whatever comes into my head.
Yeah, most of these are that way for me. Here we go. I haven't done this one yet. There was a predator from Yautja Prime who, truth be told, wished he were a mime. Inside an invisible box, he snapped on invisible locks and remained right there for a very long time.
I appreciate the dedication to learning Predator lore.
Yeah. I mean, that is I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. It is Yautja. So it might be Yautja Prime?
Oh.
I have no idea. I don't think they ever say it in any of the movies.
I was gonna say that the only real way to find out would be to ask someone from there. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't want to do that.
It's one of those things it's not in any of the movies, so it must have come from like a crappy novelization, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was probably like some Piers Anthony penned novelization of one of the movies. There once was a hot, rotten mama who thought she shot Barack Obama. But instead, who she shot was a small yellow tot, who exclaimed as he died, "Ay caramba!" just a hot, rotten mama who shot Bart Simpson to death. Mistook him for former black president Barack Obama.
Well, I mean, on some of those T-shirts they made of him, I can see, like, yeah.
Can we make a T-shirt, a podcast T-shirt that's just maybe like a Karen type character shooting a black Bart Simpson, like a bootleg Bart Simpson T-shirt, but it's like a Karen lady shooting.
Honestly, at this time, I think that bootleg Bart Simpson T-shirts might be a more sound business move for us than certainly a Limerick podcast.
We definitely should have just done it. Instead, just no podcast this week. We just made a bootleg Bart Simpson T-shirt.
There once was a punk who lived in a shoe. He spent most of his time sniffing his glue. So many bottles and jars spilled in home and in his boot car. He was stuck in place like Winnie the Pooh. I couldn't end that one right. I don't know. But I was sort of like the one limerick that made its way into Mother Goose was the old lady who lived in a shoe. Mm-hmm. And I just think that there should be more people who live in shoe houses or have houses that look like things that aren't houses.
Other stuff. Yeah. Like you have SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
Right.
That big hit.
Squidward. The old lady who lives in a shoe. Batman, kind of, I guess. Just a cave.
It's got like a house hat on, but you know.
Yeah.
You know he spends most of his time down there. Alfred's cleaning all that shit for nothing.
Mm-hmm. My name is Inigo Montoya, and I've come here today to destroy ya. You crashed through a brick wall, and you caused it to fall on my father, as you shouted, "Oh yeah!" And that's about the guy from the Princess Bride's father being killed by the Kool-Aid Man.
Okay, I'm going to do my last autobiographical one, and this one's more of a kid one. There was a man who was made out of cheese. Ate him with toothpicks and a couple of breeze. This little guy filled me with pride. Couldn't eat him, I'd have cried. I know he smells, but don't throw him out, please.
That's very sad. All right, I have one more that I did not finish that I'll burn right now. It says, there once was an Applebee's chef, and then that's where it's I couldn't figure out anything to do with it. Don't know why I even attempted an Applebee's one. And then I have 5 more here that are all I kept doing. They're all together. This is 5 limericks.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say we are over an hour. I have about a quarter of mine left, but
holy shit!
I have been not touching the worst ones, so I've got 1 or 2 good ones left, and one that we should end on. So go ahead and do your long one, and I'll probably just do the.
So you want me to just do? Wait. So you said you have one to end on.
I have all of my worst ones. My bottom 25% I haven't touched, and at this point in time, I don't think anybody needs those.
Okay. I mean, these are not great either, as you were about to find out. But I'll just burn them. 5 bad limericks coming up. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. No, wait, I misspoke. Now I've ruined the joke about why there's a mouse on my cock. Hickory dickory dab. The mouse ran up a tab. His card was denied and walked home mortified as his date left alone in a cab. Hickory dickory Dinah. The mouse ran into my vagina. I know it seems weird, but it's quite common here in the People's Republic of China. Hickory dickory desident. The mouse ran for the office of president. Although he was speedy, he could not have run legally. He was born as a Mexican resident. Hickory dickory deem. The mouse ran a pyramid scheme, selling stuff for skincare, Cutco knives, Tupperware, and a penis enlargening cream. The end.
Okay.
Of my
okay.
Mouse running places limericks.
Alrighty. Well, once there were 2 guys without a podcast. They tried many times, but no topic would last. Then one said, I know what to do. We'll write limericks, more than a few. No way will this one come off as half-assed.
And I think it certainly did not.
No, even if it wasn't good, you can tell it took a lot of work.
That's right. This was a whole ass bad podcast.
yeah. We put that whole butt in there.
Put the whole thing.
And not a flat Stanley butt either. Like beautiful big round butt cheeks.
Big juicy cheeks. Just the kind of thing that you see going down a slide and you're like, oh no. That's gotta hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just scanning through to make sure I didn't miss any, and yes, no, I did not miss any.
Oh, I missed several, but everyone is better that we missed those.
Okay. You don't want to just throw out one of the bad ones?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Folks, thank you for listening to There Once Were Two Men from Podtucket, the Limerick podcast. that only existed because two better versions of it had come before it. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I'm sorry that this is a Monday episode, but like I said, new job, cutting into my free time to do bullshit with my friend. We'll be back next week with a real ass Monday episode. Please call into the podcast hotline. That's 702-PODCASP with a P at the end. 702-PODCASP. Leave us a message with your idea for a podcast and write us a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm Nathan P. Woodard.
And I'm Andrew James Estes.
Good night.